Hi and welcome, my friends. Welcome to this Wednesday live session of our group Friendship Skill 4.0 for this digital age. Thank you all for joining this live session or for watching the video afterwards. It would be cool if you like or chat our video so that we can reach a larger audience. And thank you very much for that. Last week, we had our guest, life coach Brent Cothran, speaking with me about how to communicate effectively with our partners. If you haven't watched that video, you should really do so. Brent provided some amazing ideas. Today, I want to speak about this week's topic, how to retain friendships when your friend circle reaches another stage of life. This means how you deal with the situation that not only one, but many of your friends start with a new episode in their life, leaving you sort of behind. For example, the big separation of friend circles after school, when some people go to work, other go to university, the next one go traveling. Or if your friends finish university before you and they leave for work and you keep on studying, or when many of your friends start to get married and become children. Our fellow group member and my friend Kelly Aslanido suggested this topic. She wrote about it like that. How do you retain friendship when you are the only single one left in the bunch? Or how do you retain friends who are married with children and you aren't? Kelly had a great example about a student of her who was upset because all her friends planned a weekend trip with their kids, and she was told that she's not allowed to join because she didn't have children herself. Kelly's story inspired me for a poll. I will activate it now. Let's look if it works. Activate poll. Cool, it works. How would you feel if your friends would go on a trip with their kids and you are left out because you don't have kids? You would be fine, feel disappointed, or would you be happy for them? Cool. Let's look how the voting is going. Um, People reaching different stages of life and choosing and losing friends because of it. It's actually a very big topic. I think everybody experienced it. Therefore, there's also a lot of literature about it and some good articles. We feel especially bad in such a situation if we lose more and more touch with not just one, but with many of our friends. This causes a negative emotional feeling of being left behind by the rest, or even feeling worthless because we have achieved less than the others. That's something which can even lead to depressions. I will post a link to an article of Jessica Pontevian on Well and Good magazine later, which gives a really good insight in the feeling and possible solutions. Uh, for her, it's in the first place about the right attitude. The friendship, in fact, doesn't change, just the circumstances are different around it. The person is still the same. We just have to consider that we have to change the way how we interact in the future. If we just try to maintain the old status, it can't work anymore. Our friends have no accessoires of life, and we have to deal with it somehow. And that's her point. And she also gives advices like be more intentional about the friendship, maintain a clear communication, create new shared experiences that keeps us connected, change your mindset to positive one. I like one statement especially: fewer friends wins as your wins, and trust that yours will come in time. Otherwise, you doubt may subconsciously infiltrate your relationship and stop you from being optimally happy for your friends. So you will start being jealous about them, what they achieved. Before I speak about my own opinion, let's look at some of our group comments. Don't be worried about that the main post looks different. I pushed the wrong button, so I changed the look of the main discussion comment of this week. Sorry for that. But now let's speak about some post. Elias Fessler wrote, you move on with your life and keep in touch as much as you can." And she added in another comment, "You shouldn't be dependent on others to have a social life." That means it's about the right mindset. If friends change date in life and exclude you, you can try to keep in touch, but you also have to build your own stable social life. Be positive and don't depend too much on others, because you can't force someone to keep in touch with you. It doesn't work. Thank you, Elias. Cool. I got a comment of Hilde. I will read it out in a few seconds as well. Techeria Lau wrote a very good but long post. I really recommend you to read it. I will just read a few aspects now of it. I would think that when some of your friends transit into another stage in life, it is important to accept that the priorities would be different. We cannot expect others to interact like before. Both parties would have to adjust to fit and accommodate. He also points out that this won't work with everybody, but that there are also things where you even profit from, like becoming a godfather, godmother, and helping to take care of the children, which is some exercises you could use later on with your own children. Zacharias, I love your comment. It's a really good and on the point. Ian Dissert brought in another perspective. I always actually love how people in our group have different approaches to think about such a topic. That's amazing group work. Cool, guys and girls. Ian wrote about how he stays in touch with people, but it may not happen with casual friendships born to particular circumstances which no longer apply unless you have common interests which transcend those. This means if you have only been friends because you went to the same school and sat in the same classroom, it might just not be enough to maintain the friendship. Very good thought, Ian. So let's I lost track for a second. Yes, but let's look in my opinions. But let's have a look on Hilde's post. She wrote, "I'm in touch with your mother for 6 years now. We are very different in our thinking and behaviors, but she belongs in my life. We went to school together. I knew her grandparents and her parents, and she knew mine. She's very lonely, no friends except me, no family anymore. We are untouched by phone. I won't miss our friendships." That's the thing that, especially if you grow older, it's for both sides. It's good that you keep in touch, even through different stages in life, because you might want to rely on a friend later on in your life. Nice share. Thank you, Hilde. In my opinion, being on different stages in life has different important facts. First, if someone changes her stage in life, she won't become a complete other person. Just some aspect change. Those aspects are mostly connected to time consumption and physical distance. People will have less time to maintain a friendship and or will be located in a different place. So you can describe it as a shift of priorities, but priorities change all the time again. But people, they will keep at least some of their own interests and hobbies, and that's something we could connect on, or we could discover new interests and hobbies with them. If we have little or nothing in common, it of course will be difficult because sharing old memories is just not enough. It becomes boring after time. Uh, Therefore, it's easier if we try to keep in touch with a person with whom we share things. Second, for me, in my opinion, don't take things too personal. It's a mindset thing. Of course, you won't be invited to participate all the time, and there will be topics you can't relate to, like parents speaking about baby things, and you you can't really relate to it if you don't have children yourself. But that's just a normal development. You can become an active listener for them as first and even learn from it. You never know, you could end up in the same stage of life just a bit later, and therefore it's good to have friends who already know what to do, what's important, which you can ask questions later on. Third point, in my opinion, is it doesn't really matter if it's just about one friend or a group of them. Um, it might feel worse, but it's actually the same. It's a positive point because you don't have to feel offended. They're not ganging up against you. It's just because it's easier for them to relate to existing friends than to find new ones. So that's a clear sign that you could participate anytime if you just would reach the same stage of life. So if you would become children, become married, or start working, it's nothing personal. It's only about priorities. And they also will change their stage in life as well because it's always happens. It's a process. Um, and if a friend is important for you, it's really worth to maintain the friendships, like Hilde does it to my mother, and like others, like Ian stated as well in this example. I think that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed this live session. Maybe you even got one or two ideas out of it. Please like and share it, and see you again in our group Friendship Skills 4.0 for this digital age. Have a nice afternoon, morning, evening. Bye. Cool. Thanks. I have to find the end live video session button. Here it is.